Hello, hello. Welcome back to Let's Talk Ray Bradbury. If you've not yet subscribed to our channel, please take a moment to do that now. All right, so we're moving on to Chapter 8 of From Dust Return, his 2001 fix-up novel featuring an assortment of stories previously published elsewhere, all held together and sort of turned into a novel made up of short stories and bridge pieces. Chapter 8 is called Mouse Far Traveling. It's another short one, another bridge piece, but let's talk about it. All right, so Chapter 8 describes how a ghost mouse with the same Egyptian origins as the cat Anuba and, of course, the mummy grandmother is disturbed from its resting place by the arrival of Napoleon a few hundred years ago. And over the next century, it makes its way by boat to America and eventually to this strange house in Illinois. By chance, it arrives on the same day that Timothy is found on the porch in a basket. When it enters the house, it has a brief standoff with the spider, who is sort of sizing him up. Eventually, the spider decides that, yeah, he's okay, and goes off to go and eat flies. But the mouse enters the woodwork, scurries along the woodwork, and eventually finds its way into Timothy's crib to be a companion. Along with the spider on his finger as a ring, Anuba the cat on his lap, the mouse takes its place on his shoulder and becomes his companion for the next 10 years, leading up to his 10th birthday. And of course, the anticipation of what the story calls the greatest arrival of all, which I assume is the beginning of the homecoming. It's another short, charming bridge piece, so there's not a lot really here. You would be disappointed if it wasn't Bradbury, who just has this wonderful way of inviting you in. But it's helping the house begin to feel a little bit more crowded. I can see why this mouse character didn't necessarily need his own full story. It remains to be seen whether this was impactful on the story at all, the greater novel. But really what it does is it sets up this new arrival. Who is this new arrival? And of course, we've been setting up the homecoming gathering, homecoming party since the beginning of the story. And lo and behold, we're getting to the homecoming, and we're going to skip that chapter, chapter 9, because I previously read it and reviewed it here on this channel. I will discuss it a little bit. I'm going to reread it for sure. But in the next video, we'll talk about it a little bit before jumping on to Chapter 10, West of October, which was originally published in the Toynbee Convector in 1988. So I hope that you are following along with this book, From the Dust Returned, and maybe share your thoughts and feelings as we discuss each chapter here on Let's Talk Ray Bradbury, the short fiction review show, documenting all of Ray Bradbury's short fiction across his career, said to be somewhere in the vicinity of 600 stories. Eventually, we're going to track them all down, discuss them here, and for no other reason necessarily than that I want to. And, who can say that they read all 600 of Ray Bradbury's short stories? I'll be able to say it, and you'll be able to say that you followed along here on Let's Talk Ray Bradbury. All right, thank you, and until next time, keep it creepy.